The Eagles held private practice today at the link, and there was a lot going on. We saw Christian Ellis be the only linebacker getting first-team reps while Myles Jack continued to work in with the first team. And Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, I know you didn't forget about them because they made their presence felt yet again. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. This is the most interesting team in the NFL, and it's not even close. The battles that are going on with this team are absolutely fascinating, and the Eagles were back at practice today, and just when you think you've heard not a lot about Jalen Carter or Nolan Smith, they come on the scene and they wreak havoc. That's right, they wreak havoc. Jalen Carter is wreaking such havoc, the guards are now having to figure out how they want to block him. It is unprecedented, some people are saying, what he is doing. Just wait until we get into the regular season. Now, before we get into all of this stuff, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet, and I want to thank you guys so much for all the support you give to me. It really does. It means a lot to me. I got to tell you, it does. Now, I will not be doing a personal live stream today. I will be, however, doing a live stream with Philly Mike later on today. So look for that. And then we'll try to get back into our live streams tomorrow and Friday, but we'll see how that goes. Still kind of up in the air at this point. Just not sure about work, but it is what it is. Now, as far as the Eagles today, they were back at practice, but today's practice wasn't at the NovaCare. It was at the link. No crowd, maybe a few people in the crowd, fewer media, and it was basically what they called a private practice. So here's today's private practice Eagles Wednesday injury report. Eagles Wednesday practice report. Team at the link practicing today, but not open to all fans. Will not practice. Deion Kane, ankle. Patrick Johnson, ankle. Limited Devin Allen calf and Nakobe Dean ankle. So this is some good news on Nakobe Dean, we got to say, because he is now doing some of the drills and doing some things with the team. Not fully there yet, but he's on his way to recovery and getting back. I'm hoping he'll be back somehow this week and be able to play in this week's game. I think it's important for Nakobe Dean to go out there and get reps. We did see James Bradbury return to the team today. He was off the injury report. And then Devontae Smith was not at practice today. Devontae Smith was excused from today's practice for personal reasons, the Pound Eagle said. So he had a personal reason. Who knows what it was, but he had a personal reason. So him not being there is not a big deal. Now, in today's practice, one of the things that I found to be the most interesting thing was the linebacking situation. And it's very interesting what's going on there. And some of it we have to assume is because Nakobe Dean has missed some practices. But I think when you look at the Eagles, and I think you look at what's going on and what they're doing, they're clearly not happy with what they've had so far at the linebacking spot. And I think this could be a reflection more on Morrow than anything else. Christian Ellis was the only linebacker today to take every first-team snap. So Christian Ellis, they feel pretty comfortable with him in that starting role. He was taking every first-team rep. Now, Myles Jack was once again working in with the first team. He's getting reps from anywhere from the first team to the third team. But the guy's only been here 2 days. So what do you expect from him? I think the fact that he's even getting first-team reps so quickly tells me where the Eagles are hoping that he will be. Zach Cunningham was getting second-team reps today. So he's out there getting second-team reps. Myles Jack is getting anywhere from first-team reps to third-team reps. But Christian Ellis is out there, and he is basically taking every snap as a linebacker. That is very telling. If you look at where we started training camp, it was Nakobe Dean and Morrow. And then it was Nakobe Dean and Morrow and Christian Ellis kind of switching roles. Now Nakobe Dean is hurt. Christian Ellis is in there as a starter. When Nakobe Dean comes back to full practice and can practice, this is what I want to see. Is it going to be Nakobe Dean and Christian Ellis on every first team rep, or does Nakobe Dean go right back to that first team and Christian Ellis rotate with like Miles Jack? Not sure if he's getting first team reps because Nakobe Dean is out or because he's already replaced Morrow and they've pretty much decided that he's their starter. That's something we just don't know yet. But the linebacking position continues to be probably top 3 most intriguing of positions and battles, I would say for sure. Just no doubt about it. Also, I should mention on defense, like I said, James Bradbury was back. He was doing drills and stuff with the first team. That's great news. We need to get him and keep him healthy. And then you have Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter. Now, here's the thing with Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter. We heard early on how impressive they look, how great they look. And then over the last few days, it's been kind of quiet. Well, not today. At one point, Nolan Smith basically was just dragging Driscoll backwards right into Marcus Mariota, which would have been a sack. And then Jalen Carter got another sack on Marcus Mariota while he was taking reps with the second team. And I think it's very fascinating, the things that we're hearing about Jalen Carter. Some of the players and people on that staff are saying his speed is unprecedented. They have not seen a defensive tackle with that much speed and power. It's just unbelievable. So much so that the guards are actually discussing amongst themselves and game planning how they want to go about blocking Jalen Carter. He's been that good. Okay, that dude is going to be a beast. There's just no doubt about it. The dude is going to be a beast. You gotta love what you're seeing out of Jalen Carter out of Nolan Smith. Kind of quiet a little bit with Jordan Davis. We know he looks like he's better conditioned and in better shape. I think he's the type of guy that you're not going to really see his impact until they're hitting, till they're out on the field, till he's stopping that run. That's really when you're going to see what Jordan Davis is doing. But Jalen Carter and Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith have been just absolutely fantastic. And I wanted to talk about them because I don't want people to think it's a one or 2 day thing. Now that they faded away and just like every rookies. No, these guys are still out there and they're still making an impact on this team. At one point, they even had Howie Roseman out there throwing. Howie Roseman's out there throwing the ball, and I'm like, what the hell? And it's so funny because when you look at Howie Roseman throw the football, it reminds me of an actor. The worst thing about a movie, this is just my opinion. The worst thing about a movie is when you get a great sports movie. It's a good sports movie and it seems like it's really good. And then all of a sudden the main character, who's supposed to be like this like star quarterback with a rocket arm or some pitcher, throws the ball on camera. And it's like, and you could tell the guy has literally never thrown a ball in his life. To me, at that point, the whole movie's ruined. I don't care how good it is. When they go to throw, they're like, you're like, the hell with that. This guy there's no way this dude's throwing 104 mile an hour. There's no way this guy is leading a football team down the field with a minute left and no timeouts. It ain't happening. You see stuff? It's horrible. If you're ever going to make a sports movie, please hear me out. If you're ever going to make a sports movie, do not, and I repeat, do not cast an actor that can't throw the ball. Or if you do, don't show them throwing the ball ever. Ever, because it ruins the movies. I'm going on a tangent, but it's just, it is what it is. And when I saw Howie Roseman, here's a guy evaluating quarterbacks and stuff like that, and he's throwing the ball. Man, just keep being the GM, Howie. Just keep being the GM. That's all I got to say. Now, what would practice be? What would our boy Derek Barnett be without personal fouls? The one thing we saw a dramatic decrease last year in, personal fouls, penalties. Why? Because Derek Barnett wasn't there. Well, him and Landon Dickerson got into it today. They got into it, okay? Landon Dickerson with a block Some people might say it was a blind side block on Barnett. Others say it was a legal block. And then Barnett comes back. He pushes Dickerson back in the back when he's not looking. Then he starts scuffling. They're about to get into it. And then they're doing this. And then Landon Dickerson hit him. And then he hits him in the jaw. And literally, Barnett's teeth go flying out, explode like popcorn. No, I'm saying all that didn't happen. It was just a little scuffle, and then they broke it up and they went about their way. But it sounds much better if they were like throwing haymakers, doesn't it? It sounds like a lot better, but that's not what happened. Yeah, they got into it. That's really the first we've heard. I just find it funny that the first time we hear about Derek Barnett all summer, it's in a penalty situation, because that would have been a personal foul, him retaliating in a game. So it is what it is. Welcome back, Derek Barnett. It's always him. It's always him. You know? Now, one thing I want to say, Marcus Mariota might have had his best day. He made a great pass earlier to, believe it or not, Britton Covey. He beat McPherson. And from what we're hearing, Mariota had a much better day than he's had in the past, especially throwing the ball. So that's a good sign. A lot of people were worried about Marcus Mariota being the backup. I'm not really worried about it. I think, if you have to deal with him for 1 or 2 games, I think you're going to be fine. If you're going to lose Jalen Hurts for an entire season, or God forbid something, knock on wood, if something like that happens, it doesn't really matter. You have to have your quarterback. It's just the way it is. But Mariota with a much better day today at practice. And then I want to say Jalen Hurts Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's a stud, and he really had the throw of the day. It was a 40-yard pass down the left sideline. A.J. Brown, great coverage, by the way. Keely Ringo, great coverage. I wish I could show you tape, but they're not allowed to film during these drills. So all we could hear is what's coming out of the NovaCare and what's coming out from the reporters. Can't film it, but nice 40-yard pass bomb. A.J. Brown, nice catch. Keely Ringo, great coverage. So all around good play by everybody involved. And that's a pretty good thing. Now, the Eagles, they'll be back at practice tomorrow, and then they have a game Saturday. Reminder, we will be streaming the game. Should be a lot of fun. We got a lot of battles to watch, Listen, even the special teams and Covey, I want to see how Covey is in year 2. It's going to be really interesting. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. It's always him. It's always him. That should be like a song. It's always him. I don't know what the song would be, but I can tell you this. Derek Barnett cannot go a training camp, cannot go a practice, cannot go a preseason game, can't go regular season without getting penalties and personal fouls. I will say that the over-under on him getting a penalty this week, we'll say it's 1, because he's not going to play 4 quarters, so I'll say 1. Over-under penalties, we'll say 1. How about 1.5? 1.5. I'll take the over. The dude's definitely going to have penalties. He can't help it. Even in practice today, taking cheap shots at Landon Dickerson. The guy is a penalty machine, a personal foul machine. And that's why our penalties were so much better last year. It didn't kill us. If there's an extreme moment and you need a play, you need something to happen, Derek Barnett gets a penalty. Denzel Washington out.